visit high-electric.com to get started.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Inside the Huddle with Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Blackshirts.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging.
What up? Happy Sunday, Jay Foreman. Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Dr. Finn, Dr. Razin, they do a great job over there taking care of all of your imaging needs and come up with a real detailed game plan for you. They definitely have done worked some wonders with me, Mr. Ben. I got some bad wheels going on that have been inflated. Definitely the check engine light is coming on too much, but they definitely have done a good job of, supporting me through the process. And also we appreciate their support of Inside the Huddle. And we're going to jump into a little bit of a Caitlin Clark talk today.
Right.
And just because it's obviously been on the forefront, obviously with weeks past. And, we tried to, jump in and out of it with old school. And but we haven't been, obviously you got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of other stuff going on. But, really just to start it, I would say this, it's, Caitlin Clark and a lot of these young ladies have done a really good, great things for women basketball at all levels, right? They brought a lot of notoriety and eyes to it and viewership and put it at the forefront, number one, by their skill. I think sometimes the personalities, people focus too much on the personalities, right? And we'll get into that, rightfully so. But I think the skill set has grown. And and I think they're very skilled players. But I will say, even before that, I think the WNBA was starting to go on the uptick as well, because you had some generational players come in with, Aja Wilson, Plum, the young lady, the Stewart for the New York team. Even before that, you had Della Donna over there, where she was on multiple teams. Yeah, Candace Parker. I mean, I remember back when they, were at Lisa Leslie and all, the OGs played. Cheryl Swoops and all them. They were, generational talent, and Witherspoon and all them. They were just kind of getting it going. And so it's been a step-by-step process. But I think the players like Diana Taurasi and those they have really, worked through some muddy waters and set the path for a Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Brink and all them to come in and benefit off of it. And then you see it coming back because now they're in the WNBA. And then, with all that being said, it comes with a lot of pressure. I think the social media aspect and, I guess the somewhat of a delusional present day fan base. This is a college thing as well, right? We get a Ben that comes in from, San Francisco, California, and you're the number one receiver. They expect you to be Randy Moss like that.
Yeah.
Because of what you did in high school, or you play well in college and then they expect you to go to the NFL. And there's I think sometimes you get delusional where you think okay, well, she's the number one scorer, period. Right now, in order to do that, there's certain, you have to be in the right situation, because if you're playing for South Carolina or you're playing for UConn in women's basketball, you're not going to be able to have those type of records, because you're going to be playing with a bunch of players like you. And this is not taking anything away from the other players on the University of Iowa. I think it has to be the right opportunity. It has to be the right coach, the right university. There has to be a need. And then also the most important thing, you have to have a player, in Caitlin Clark's case, that's willing and able to take that pressure and then also keep getting better, right? And that's what she did, right? Where you got to think Iowa, everybody think it was just Caitlin Clark out there, just doing her thing. Now, granted, she was averaging 30 points, but Iowa was scoring 100.
Yeah,
they had great players. You got Kate Martin, who's a really good player there for the Aces, and they've had other players that are still there. And were good, really not good, but great role players. They were all American in their roles, and they all played their role, supporting and assisting and playing along with Caitlin Clark, that allowed her to go to the level that she was able to achieve in college. And then sometimes when you're so dominant at that level and nobody's really been able to kind of stop her. I mean, South Carolina did a really good job, and some other teams, Nebraska did a really good job, for a while
when they won.
Yeah, right. But got after a little bit, right? Figured it out. And, but ultimately people think you're just going to go to the WNBA. It's going to be, you're playing against the professionals. And this is what's interesting. I remember we had Coach Bird in here from the Supernovas, and Nebraska's, they got second, in women's volleyball, but they are the mecca of women's volleyball.
Yeah.
Talent wise, always getting the biggest transfers, number one recruits. And I remember we asked her, I don't know if it was me or DP, and they say, what's the difference? And she was, without a doubt, said, this is totally different. The skill set, the speed, the size, the power, in volleyball. That's the same thing with Caitlin Clark's facing.
Yeah.
And so you create this delusion that she's just going to go from Iowa City to dominate. Now, granted, the perception is that she's targeted or whatever. Sure, you're targeted because you're the number one pick.
Yeah.
And you come in with a lot of fanfare.
That's in any sport, though.
In any sport. LeBron faced it. Jordan faced it.
Yeah.
Everybody faces it. You see guys in the NFL, they come in as the number one quarterback, the number one pick. Even if you're the first round pick on that team, and you come in with fanfare or a perception of having an attitude problem, guys are going to see we call it check. We're going to check your temperature, see how real you are. Now, some of it, like the Kennedy foul, that wasn't a basketball play.
No.
That was just a frustration play and getting caught up in the moment. But everybody's human. We've seen it before. I mean, heck, we've seen Draymond, Cole Cocker's teammate, just in practice, let alone a game. In a prime time game where you're trying to prove yourself or you're out there competing, and so things happen. Now, I'm not condoning it, but that wasn't a basketball play. But it's an adjustment for Caitlin Clark. This is why people are delusional. You have to understand that nothing that Caitlin Clark is dealing with was set up for her to be successful. The only success right now, you went number one. It was a foregone conclusion probably before the season started.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as Indiana got the number one pick, you know who was going number one. Period. Right? You're going to the worst team. That's why they're picking number one. Okay. So if you have the worst team, that means you generally you might have a couple good players because you have Boston from South Carolina, right? But you don't have a lot of depth there. So you're not playing with a lot of players that maybe fit your skill set, or even have a skill set to even have some sort of continuity going. It just seems like it's real choppy. It's like a gearbox that's not oiled, right? So you're not going to be successful on a consistent basis, right? And everything's going to be hard. And you're playing against more talented, more experienced teams.
Because it's professional.
Right. And that team that she is on is not as skilled, not as experienced, and they don't have the depth. And then let alone, I feel that the coach is struggling with how to use Caitlin Clark, where to use her, when to use her, and then also mix everybody else in.
I haven't heard a lot of that, and that's a good point.
And that's just watching it. It just doesn't, okay, one time you have her on the ball, they seem to be winning. Then you say, okay, well, it's almost like, all right, we got to take her out. Well, then you take her out, then she comes back, she's playing off the ball. Okay, so then that everybody's learning. You got a young coach, right? You got a young, or it's just not set up for success to the
right away.
Yeah, to the really unrealistic expectations that she had from Iowa. Because you got to think, like at the beginning of the year, you knew Iowa was going to get to the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
Got the championship, right? Wasn't able to get the job done. But then also, what's more importantly, where people haven't recognized, is Caitlin Clark doesn't have the skill set right now to come in and dominate. She doesn't. Well, number one, coming out of college, she was a defensive liability. That's the one thing I felt like at the University of Iowa, they could have done a better job of yes, that you got to play her off the ball and try to save her, rightfully so. But the basics of defense, the things that she could, because she's quick, she's strong, she's 6 foot tall.
She has the build to be able to be a good defender.
Right. But when you haven't been held accountable or asked to do it, now you're playing against bigger, faster, stronger players or women, and then you're getting exposed. So right there, that's a big hole in her skill set, right? And that's now she's at the highest level learning that and having to do it all the time.
And that's tough.
That's tough, right? On top of, then you flip it to the offensive side. She will always be able to shoot. She was really good in transition in college. Okay, well, guess what? You're playing against bigger, faster, stronger athletes. So those transition points aren't going to come readily available like they would on a 75, 85% basis in a college game, right?
Yeah.
Those points. So say like say she usually scored 8 points in transition. That's probably 2 to 4 on average. That's half. That's 4 points right there. Well, then also she was really good in transition, assisting the ball, right? So she'd give it up when she needed to, and she'd make the smart play. Well, if you don't have people that can play at your pace, or they're not skilled enough to finish, well, then that affects what? The win-loss, or the points, win-loss column.
In her stats.
Right? So, and then also, if you lose a little confidence, or somebody's a step late, or, the defense recovers fast enough, your turnovers naturally are going to be higher, right? So her skill set right now isn't for domination. Then now, coming in, they thought she was going to come in and just be the MVP. I mean, you got to think just think of the people that are in the WNBA before she got here.
Yeah, there's talent.
Right. There's Las Vegas Aces. You got the New York team. You got the Chicago team. And the teams that she's facing have the kryptonite to what Indiana doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of pressure. Now, has it been extremely physical? For sure. But I think that's the way it is anyways. And if you don't think the WNBA is physical, you ain't been watching it. It's been physical.
You definitely weren't watching it before Caitlin Clark, too.
Right. Or watching it with the intent of actually watching it, because people forget. There used to be old saying, how soon they forget. My grandma used to say that, about, people in our family or whatever, is that when Candace Parker came in, remember, she came from University of Tennessee, was flat out unstoppable. People essentially targeted her. It just wasn't on all the networks. It wasn't on social media yet. I mean, but
wasn't getting the attention.
Right. And they were having full on bench clearing brawls. I mean, they get after it. So, I think, she'll improve. It's kind of like when LeBron came in. LeBron was a legit player. He'd have a couple great games, and he'd have 2 or 3, bad games.
With any young player.
Any young player. Jordan struggled. Kobe struggled. Everybody's going to struggle. So if you came in and thought that Caitlin Clark wasn't going to struggle, then you you were looking at it with a lot different lens than you should have.
You're not saying that she doesn't have the skill set or anything to dominate. Just like it's hard for anybody to dominate right when they come in to professional league.
To the magnitude of what they expected. And if you think that because Caitlin Clark comes in with notoriety that they're going to back down from her, you don't understand the dynamic.
That's not competition.
Yeah, they're going to compete, and it's great that she did. Now, granted, I think the fouls that aren't necessary, they just aren't necessary. Period. And it's not needed. You can be plenty physical, like within the confines of it, of the game.
Yeah.
I will say this though. Steph Curry is kind of like Caitlin Clark. Now he struggled, right?
I mean, especially on the defensive end
Right.
away too.
Supposedly. But guess what happened? You need a coach like Mark Jackson that figured out how to accentuate his skill set along with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. You got 3 Hall of Famers there, and now
look at him. Yeah.
Right, now look at him. It takes time. And once you get a coach in there, or the coach makes adjustments to find a way to figure out how to not only, I guess feature Caitlin Clark, but Boston, and how they can work hand in hand and go from there. Now I'm going to go into some other things. Number 2, big point is I think she needs better teammates.
That's an understatement.
Now I'm not even talking basketball.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not talking I'm
talent. You're not talking talent.
I'm not talking talent. I think she needs better teammates. Number 1, if you're whether I play with guys I didn't like. There's just no, if you play with, like, if you're in one of your classes, right? Say you just had a class with the same 100 people for 4 years. You ain't gonna like all of them.
No.
And they ain't gonna like you. Right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you go in a competition, you're competing against another school, that's your teammate.
Yeah.
And for her to go through some of the things and not have anybody step up for her or be there with, like, this is my teammate, then that lets me know that's why you're picking that's part of the reason why you're picking number 1. So you need better teammates. Because I don't think Caitlin, now that I don't know her, I don't think Caitlin Clark as a person, personality wise, is a bad person, right? I've had bad teammates that were not good teammates action wise, football wise. I also had bad teammates that weren't good people. At least I thought, right? And that's all just, but when majority of people don't think you're a good teammate like that, I don't think she's like that, right? So that's where I think she needs better teammates. When you become a better team, you obviously off the court, then you become a better team on the court.
You're saying like a culture,
like a culture thing, right? You can't sit here. I mean, now granted, I do think, and I do think, listen, Caitlin Clark's junior year, she flopped way too much, and she felt like she was entitled to calls. Her head coach was as well, right? So they were hand in hand, right? I think she got better at it her senior year. That means she paid attention to it. That means it was addressed at some point. Probably flops with some in the pros, but so does everybody. LeBron flops. Yeah. Everybody flops. I mean,
that's basketball.
It's a part of basketball.
Selling content.
Right.
Yeah.
It's part of basketball right now. But I just think that her teammates haven't been good teammates to not protect her, because I don't think she's a chump, right?
Like not needing protection,
but be there for her, right? And also, this is where the short-sighted of whether it's jealousy, ignorant, whatever you want to call it. There's a guy named Charles Oakley. If you mess with Jordan, you're going to see Charles Oakley.
Yeah.
If you this is before your time.
I remember Charles Oakley.
Okay, but Wayne Gretzky had Marty McSorley. You hit Wayne Gretzky, and this is when they had enforcers. But next thing you know, you're going to see McSorley.
Yeah.
Mario Lemieux had multiple defensemen. Scott Stevens, who played for the New Jersey Devils when they were winning, he was the enforcer. Why is that important? And it's not about throwing punches. It's being there and sticking up for your teammate and being there with them. Now, if you're a smart teammate, you start to establish that in that locker room. Why? Because you want Caitlin Clark to go to bat for you. You want, because this say Caitlin Clark gets traded in like 4 years to whatever team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say they start a team up in like Utah or like a new team in Canada, I think they're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Right? They need some fanfare. Say it's later in their career and you're within a year or two of Caitlin Clark. Who do you think she's going to bring with her? She's going to bring her good teammates.
Yeah.
People that she trusts. She's going to be in the league a lot longer than somebody that's 7th, 8th, 9th on the depth chart or on the bench. That's where you have to have some forward thinking. And then I think the third part is, the big thing is that she's off the USA roster. I don't really think. I think.
Yeah. Some people saying she got snubbed.
Yeah, I mean, I think she could be on it. but then I don't think she would play because I think there's players that are significantly better than her, especially for that type of basketball right now.
Yeah.
So then it's the juice to squeeze you remember when you had the original Dream Team, right? There's one player on there that from college, Christian Laettner, hardly ever played.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand, and I don't think it's I think people try to run with it and say that's, when Jordan snubbed Isaiah and Jordan said either me or him. I don't think it's like that. Now, do I think there's probably some jealousy in there? Sure. In the league, that's natural.
Mm-hmm.
That's natural. It's natural in the league too. And I don't think it's true jealousy. It's probably some animosity, but let's see where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see exactly where let's introduce.
Let's see all the hype.
Let's introduce you to professional basketball.
Yeah.
I got introduced to professional football multiple times. I was nowhere near the fanfare she was, but it happens. Doesn't matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, that has no discrepancies. It's going to happen. And so, I think this year is a learning experience for everybody involved. Caitlin Clark, her coaches, her teammates, the league,
mm-hmm.
the networks, and all that. I think it's a learning experience, and I think everybody, I wouldn't say anybody has any faults. It's just something that you're not used to.
With the Team USA thing, do you think it'll maybe be better that she's not on it, so she can maybe focus more on her team and her skill set, and not having to, worry about going overseas and stuff like that?
I think it's for her, like and you gotta give her. I mean, she has a lot on her right now.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have. I'll say this before we go to break. Is like she doesn't have a fun. It's not a fun experience for her right
Mm-hmm.
now. I mean, she loves basketball, no doubt, right?
Yeah.
Pulled probably every direction that you can think of. You're on a crappy team. You're getting your butt kicked.
Not winning, yeah.
And you're getting your butt kicked personally. I mean, you're getting beat up some, right? Yeah. And then you're not winning. It's
mm-hmm.
not fun.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not what you, and so she probably needs a break. I think it would probably be a little bit more of a distraction.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's like an international superstar, or something like if it was like LeBron off a team so I think it probably, and she'll be on the next one. I'm telling you, you're going to see an uptick in her game, I imagine, in year 2. Like
any player,
right.
They're going to get better from year 1 to year 2.
Right. In anything.
Yeah.
And so I think it's, it was good to dive into that because I think it's a glimpse into, look, we got a number 1 recruit coming in now. You can't expect him to be Patrick Mahomes. And
right
people,
away,
you're always fighting. The new book is always fighting the book that's already New York's bestseller. What I mean by that is when, like, I had great teammates. I was blessed to play with them, like
mm-hmm.
Jason Peter, Grant Wisham, Tommy Frazier, Lauren, all those guys. Everybody sees, I guess even myself, everybody sees us when we were at year 4 or 3 or 4. They forget years 1 and 2 in our redshirt year,
mm-hmm.
where we were contemplating quitting and getting our butts
mm-hmm.
kicked. Now we'll tell you, but nobody can believe it because it's your last impression is your first impression when it comes to that. So, that's where, she's fighting it because she's in the front part of her career and she's going against a lot of players that are either in their prime
mm-hmm.
and they're seeing everything she's done. So she needs to go back to the drawing board and she'll come back better for it. So anyways, good segment, Caitlin Clark. We're going to take a quick break and come back and we'll talk a little bit of summer football, what it takes to make that big step. It's a crucial time for every team across the nation in college football to take a giant step because in 1 month it's D-Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ben, that's, when you get July, that's when I used to start getting cranky because I know I got to go to training camp. So anyways, Inside the Huddle, Jay Foreman, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging. We'll take a quick break, come right back, talk a little summer football and what to expect and what should be going on. We'll be right back.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about versatility today. Unlike flowers that wither and die or chocolates that disappear in a heartbeat, jewelry is the solid move here, guys. Yes, she will cherish it, but more important than anything, she will brag about it and brag about you. And that's what it's all about. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to Inside the Huddle, sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging. Here is your host, Jay Foreman.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle. My bad, Ben. Came in there a little early.
No, you're good.
Inside the Huddle brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging. 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Again, Dr. Raz and Dr. Finn take care of all your needs. Dr. Raz is going to be in on Tuesday at 4:30. We're going to be talking a little bit hamstring.
On Old School?
Yeah. On Old School. He's going to sit in for about 30 minutes. He's always great because he's going to talk about hamstring injuries, the high or low or mid hamstring. Which one is there's one, and I won't say it now, but he'll tell you which one is better to have if there's ever a good time to have a hamstring injury versus not. That means the one that you most likely can play the next week or play faster than the other one. And then also how other injuries generally affect the hamstring or calf. And, that's something that I battled with, when I was coming back from a couple of my injuries. And so from a medical perspective, he's always good. Plus, you got NBA playoffs and, Giannis went down with a kind of a calf hamstring thing and so forth and so on. So it's great that he's going to have him come in. But on this segment, it's summertime. Ben, before your time, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff used to have this song called Summertime. And it'd be like on a great day like that. It'd be beautiful. Like we're here at 1040 O Street, no wind. You'd be, before I was 21, I would always, be out there throwing the football or something, wanting lemonade. But as I get older, I want a couple brewskis, you know what I mean? And fire up the grill. But summertime is huge for college football. And they've changed it where you can get some visits and all that. And that's all I would say. That's a ready-made factual problem or an issue, right? What you deal with. You get guys that come in and all that. The biggest part of college football right now it's that you're past the gray area of the nostalgia and celebration of the spring game, which some people have. Like, okay, you showcase yourself. Yeah, my arms got a little bigger, whatever. You get to see the new recruits or guys that are coming in. Then you got to finish school. Now you got to get back in the lab. And this is when you're actually training, preparing, lifting, running, meeting for a tangible object or a tangible outcome. That means you're going to be playing a game sooner than you can think or sooner than you think. And they're going to keep for real score. That means every play is going to be crucial. That means every game's crucial. That means everything, the intensity needs to be cranked up, like we say, to the 15th power, and so it's a crucial time to where you really, I don't think there's going to be a lot of portal gets right now. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that you're not going to turn your roster over now and you got to play, right? You might get a, surprise here and there, or somebody you might have been working on or waiting for them to get like a JUCO, classes and stuff like that. But really, this is the team that you got to roll with, right? Majority, 95% of the guys, right? Yeah. And so this is where you got to, recreate your identity or form your new identity, recreate your culture or form your, or form a new culture, recreate your standard or double down and increase the standards you already have, or a combination of both. And also, you got to separate the want tos and what's the guys that are the doers. And this is what it comes down to. And what I mean is like, it's hot right now. Yeah. Right. And it's only going to get hotter. You can't afford, you can't afford, and this is every school. It doesn't matter if you're because the pressure at Ohio State is no different than here. The pressure at Michigan is no different than here. The pressure at Ole Miss is no different than here. The pressure at Georgia is no different here. It's just dressed up differently, right? Ohio State, Georgia are fighting national championship expectations. That means they're thinking about winning every single game. Yeah. Now, granted, they probably think it's a foregone conclusion they're going to get into the 12-team playoff, but really, now they're facing what's called, I call it the eye test. It's got to look a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, you spend all this money in NIL, you got a revamped roster, you got probably the best, you know, black and white roster out there. And then you got Georgia. You bring in a first round quarterback back. You're one game away from being in the playoffs. You think you would have done better than some other teams where you weren't there. You're 2-time defending champ. Are you for real, or were you just a nice little run? Mm-hmm. Then you got Ole Miss, who probably had, besides Ohio State, and I'd have to, you know, really, really dive into it. But the portal gets for Ole Miss was probably top 3. You know, you got Prince Will's brother, you got some other guys. And is this the year with the 12-team playoff that you actually live up to expectations, or do you lose to like Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl?
There's a lot more opportunity now,
right? And you spent money. Now we need to see you re-upped your coach, right? Because when you know you turned down Alabama, you re-upped your coach. Then you got Texas, new kids on the block, but you went down to Alabama and shocked the world last year. Are you for real? And you got a first-round pick or quarterback coming back along with Arch Manning behind you. So, but then you got Nebraska, where you know you were close. You're 5-3 going into last month, lost 4 games. You added some nice pieces. You got the number 1 quarterback. You got Daniel Kalen as a former Elite 11. You think you have a new version of Heinrich Haarberg at quarterback. You got 2 really good receivers out of the portal. Had 3 freshman receivers last year. You got Fedoni that's been healthy all season. You got the number 1. You got all these,
and then also the history of Matt Rule in year 2.
And you got the defense coming back and then you get the retained Tony White, and then you got all the things that you needed to happen in the offseason, right? So the pressure is to not only, you know, increase your win-loss record, get to a bowl game, so forth and so on. And so this is where you have to really focus in on the minor details, right? And what are the minor details? And this is where people always like, who was your favorite teammates or least favorite teammates, right? My favorite teammates were like a Phil Hansen. Nobody knows who Phil Hansen is, and from Buffalo. Played 12, 13 years. Worked hard every day. Was accountable, tough, and taught me how to be a pro. The ones I didn't like were the guys that didn't, you know, put enough effort into it. Now, what's the difference, right? Now they might, and you really can't tell the difference. A lot of people on the listening don't know who Phil Hansen is, right? But a lot of people might know who other teammates are, right? And they just look at
bigger names,
right? Stats were good. Well, some guys you can be good just on talent or the situation, right? But will you be a great teammate and the best player that you can be? You can't be without the details. Here's the biggest thing, and that I learned as a pro, but then also I actually learned before I got to the pros, and I learned this in college, and I had great mentors, is always look at the guys that are in meetings and that take notes in the very first meeting versus when you're in the middle in the dog days of training camp, right? Because everybody's going to be attentive right there in the beginning, because everybody's the excitement's there. I'm taking notes. I'm ready to go. We're motivated, right? That's fine if you're motivated. Everybody's motivated. You ain't going to show up to training camp not motivated.
First day of school.
Right. Got your best outfit, got a haircut, right? But are you disciplined? Those are the best teammates, and those are the guys I enjoyed playing with, because those are the guys I know I can win with.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can relate with that, even on like high school. Because I feel like anytime you played at high school, I mean, there's always that person where it's like he's just super talented, but maybe he's not putting in as much effort as you. But just because he's maybe a little bit more athletically gifted, he's putting up better stats.
Yeah, I guess you call it the politics. Like, you know, his dad might have played at the school, and we're talking about high school, and then all of a sudden, you know, he just kind of is grandfathered into coming in and playing varsity or getting, you know, the nod, right? You know, I always call it the family bloodline discount.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Oh, well, you know what? Your grandpa was good here back in the 1950s, so, you know, we know you're good, and, you know, it's X, Y, and Z. Or it just might be you're in a position where, like, everything defensively is funneled to you, or just whatever it may be. But the guys that really are good, are great, and are good teammates, are great teammates, and good and great players are the ones that are disciplined, because everybody's motivated. That wears off. You know what I'm saying? The people that are disciplined are the ones that you'll win with. And that's where you have to develop it right now. And you have to go the extra mile. Actually, I was just talking to a kid that I mentor, and he's in Charlotte. He's a linebacker. He's 2026. He came out to Matt Rule camp, and I said, listen, developing the habits of going the extra mile right now, this is never too early. Everybody said, oh, just wait, you'll get it. You'll mature.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this day and age. You ain't going to be, you mess around, be 32 years old, still be immature, right?
Yeah.
And because you see it, right? Because the world is different. And why is that important? Because what you do sometimes, so you can clip this, Ben.
Okay.
Is what you will do all the time under pressure. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to say it again. What you do sometimes is what you will do all the time under pressure and big moments. So if you finish every play, right? If you practice like a pro, if you eat like a pro, if you train like a pro, if you go to school like a pro, then when you play, it's just it's not going to stop. It's just going to be a habit. But if you pick and choose when you want to do it, so if I really want to be, I guess, a quote unquote front runner when we're playing, like when I play, we play Pacific. That's when I want to be, Joe Tough guy. Well, when I play against, I guess back then, say Colorado or nothing, then you don't know if I'm gonna be there. But if I'm a guy that shows up in the biggest games, you can depend on me all the time. Because if I show up in the big games, I'm gonna show up against the chumps. Yeah. You don't measure yourself against the Pacific. You measure yourself against Colorado, the Floridas, the Tennessees. Are you there? Are you there do you play a good game, right? And how do you play good games? It all goes back to what you do prior. And so this is where you develop it. Are you on time for lifting? Do you eat every meal? Do you finish every summer school class? I don't know if they're taking it. We had to take summer school, but we get a little bit extra check. You know what I'm saying? Do you show up to work on time? Do you keep your locker clean? Do you, if say like we're in a meeting, right? Say this is our meeting room. Somebody leaves, a Gatorade bottle. Do you look at it and say, you know what? I'm going to go get it. And I'm actually going to be an active participant. I'm going to go clean it up and then I'll address it later. Or do I leave it there and then I bring it up? That's the small detail. Now, everybody might ask, like, well, how does that lead to wins and losses? Well, how does it lead to win and loss? That's a action that you will have just in your body and that you do.
Like you don't think about it.
You don't think about it. So if I need to take on 2 blocks for Ben to get the tackle and you're going to get the credit. It's second. It's not even. It's just not. I do it without even thinking about it. Now, if I pick and choose when I want to do it, so if somebody that's going to pick and choose to be tidy, they're going to pick and choose when they're going to be a leader. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a leader, and I'm going to be the guy that's going to try to put you out on Front Street in front of everybody, right? So it looks like a leader. That's a paper champ.
Yeah.
Right. That's a phony. Right. But if I have something I need to address with you, Ben, I'm gonna pull you aside and say, look, dude, you might be going through something, but you know what? I really need you. And this is what I see from you. And this is what I expect from you. So you need to pick it up. Now, there's a time that I got to bring it to you in a public forum. Right. But it's got to be consistent. And so that's where you're trying to develop. And that's where you separate guys. And at this point, I think Nebraska has good enough leadership to mentor and coach the younger guys, and then also hold the older guys and guys that they need more production out of accountable, and then themselves accountable. And it's not a one-way street. If I'm slacking, like, hey, Jay, we got to pick it up, man. I need you. You got to make that play because nobody's perfect. No. And so it's got to be, and it can't never be personal. So this is the crucialest time in your offseason. You got to hit the ground running. And then you don't stop until you got to get ready for camp. And then you adjust and hit the ground running again. There's no free time from here on out. The game plan, I guess, what do you call it? Kumbaya, that's over.
Yeah.
Like we getting ready for, I don't know if you watch like Game of Thrones or anything like that.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, right. So like generally back then, this, like if they were going to battle, they like, if it's the winter, we're like, we fighting you in the summertime. Right. You know that, right? They know winter's coming. We don't have any food and all that. So we got to fight you because we got to get our crops right and make sure we can feed our army. So, as the winter starts to go away, it's about to be on.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at right now. And so that's where, where they have to make and every team has to make, a tremendous amount of gains.
Yeah. I mean, so with that, does that mean like in your eyes, when you played, were summer or practices like during the summer, during the June and July months, just as like intense as during the season, or maybe even more intense?
Yeah, they were intense. I mean, we did. Now, granted, we couldn't do some of the things they did there, but we did our own 7-on-7. Everything we did was a competition. So when you're on the line and we were running, 5-yard starts, 10-yard starts, I mean, you're looking down the line. You're trying to separate yourself.
Yeah.
And we were taking score going against the offense. We wanted to, I think they did a thing that where, we want to have like, whether it's better body fat comp or whatever it was called. We wanted to be in better shape. It was competition. Everything. It was intense. I mean, it was tough, man. I mean, and here's an example before we go to break. Like I used to work, I was a janitor out at Gallup, and they don't even have Gallup anymore. That's where Southeast Community College is out there, 68th and kind of O.
Okay.
So I was like that was my first like little job as a janitor. I loved it, Ben, because they used to let me take home like toilet paper and soap. Brother was broke back in college,
That's a college essentials.
Yeah, man. I was broke, so, but when it'd be days that I would, one time I had to build a sandbox. It was hot. So, but as I drove to workouts, I had to focus. Like, I can't afford a day off because it's always in the back of my mind. I might get beat out. I might get replaced, or I might lose my, place in the pecking order. And that's what that's a good competition, peer pressure that you want. So this is what you want. You want a pressure cooker right now. You want to see, where guys are at, who can handle the pressure on a consistent basis. Because once you start to handle the consistent basis, that's actually what you want.
Yeah, off seasons where champions are made.
Yeah, and chumps are laid. So, anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging. We'll be right back.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an exactly merged high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit allofiber.com to switch today.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to Inside the Huddle with Jay Foreman, sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging.
What up, last segment? Inside the Huddle, Jay Foreman, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Check them out, man. They're doing some pretty cool stuff over there, actually, with plantar fasciitis, and they also do stuff with concussions and migraines. So, along with try to get these dogs and these ankles and hip back together, man. It's on the struggle bus. I can't dance anymore, Ben.
You can't?
Nah, man. I can't get down like I used to be.
So when you go to a wedding party, you're not on the dance floor at all?
No, man. You know what I tell them? I said gangsters don't dance, we boogie. Anyways, though, quick segment here. Got the game 2 tonight. Celtics and the Mavs.
Who do you got?
I think Celtics will hold serve, but I think the Mavs are going to come out like gangbusters. I think they're a prideful organization. Jason Kidd's going to have them motivated, try to play some Jedi mind tricks and saying that Jaylen Brown's the best player.
That was funny.
A little bit of a desperation. It's probably too quick to pull that, but I think they're putting all their chips in, trying to sneak away with game 2. But I think the Celtics defensively have the right body types and athletic ability to kind of slow down Kyrie and Luka, and then also be able to stay one-on-one against the PJ Washington or Jones or whoever. So still I think it's going to go 7. I'm not sure who I'm going to pick, but I think Celtics going to win tonight. But before we take off, there was a huge crash on Old Cheney yesterday. I think there was at least one fatality. So I know it's holiday season, everybody's cheerful and stuff like that, but make sure you drive with as much safety as possible, especially because you got a lot of young drivers now out there with the summer. So would be it definitely was a driving home was not a it was a reality check seeing that. It was definitely
it's scary.
It's scary. So anyways, want to leave everybody with that. We got the Breeze next.
Yeah,
we got the Breeze next, and then we got Nico after that, and then it'll be Ticket Sunday afternoons, and then we got the racing show, and then we got Tom Stevens.
Husker Rewind's not going anymore this summer, but we got Ricky also.
Oh yeah, Ricky Simmons at 8 o'clock. That's always good
to get you happy.
Get you happy on. So anyways, we're signing off next Sunday. Jay Foreman brought to you. Jay Foreman inside the Huddle. Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. We'll holler at you next week.
Do you love turning wrenches? Are you looking for a new career path? Acres Equipment has the opportunity for you. The Acres Fast Track program trains you to become a John Deere certified technician in just 12 months. In the Fast Track program, you'll earn full-time wages along with incredible benefits, free tools in a toolbox, plus free comprehensive health insurance and an awesome retirement plan. Visit acres.com/careers to learn more about this exciting opportunity. Hurry, space is limited, so apply today and fast track your career. Acres is an equal opportunity employer.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier,